Hello everyone and welcome to another What I Think. So, it's been a while since I've done one of these, so I'm quite looking forward to doing this. Before I moved to Sweden, somebody on Twitter, unfortunately, whilst I am recording this, I cannot for the life of me remember who his name was. I sincerely apologise, but I want to give a shout out to them. Thank you for letting me know this because I probably would have missed it otherwise. They informed me of these strange figures going on eBay. Now, again, I just want to say this because I know people are going to ask. This was well over 6 months ago. I don't have the details of the eBay seller. I don't know if they are still selling them on eBay, so unfortunately I can't give out any information because I simply don't have it anymore. But anyway, so yes, these strange figures. Now, the initial thought was that these could be some kind of prototypes, but I have looked into this of sorts. Unfortunately, I've not been able to find any conclusive evidence to prove that they aren't, but I am 99, well, okay, that's a bit of a stretch, but I am, let's say, 60% sure, I was over-exaggerating quite a lot there. I am 60% sure that these are knockoffs, and I will take you through my reasoning for this. Now, firstly, I bought two of them because I was originally going to use ones for custom parts, but when I got them, I actually looked at them both, and they are quite different. Now, there's a reason that these two are here, and I'll come back to them in a minute, but I'm just going to put these side by side, because if I hold them by the head, if you look at their legs, you can look at the tonal difference between those, and even between their arms. They are very different in terms of shading and colours, which you don't get that kind of variation in the official blue figures. There's something here that these are almost like they were blue. I mean, it's quite hard to see on camera, but if I compare it to, say, if I compare this one to that, it really looks to me like this was this, but it's been dyed somehow. Now, yeah, these are really odd, but the thing is, it's got as well. I'm not having a good day today. It has got, I don't know how easily this is going to come up on camera. It has got all of the licensing information on the bottom. It says BBC 2004, licensed by the BBC, worldwide limited. Now, if we look on the bottom of the original one, again, BBC license, BBC 2004, worldwide limited. So all of the information is the same, but that still doesn't mean that it's an official product or an official prototype, because I think that what's happened here is that somebody has used these molds of the existing figure to create these knockoffs. Now, they are brilliant pieces, but the thing that strikes me odd about these, I'll use this one because this is the one that's got the most tonal difference. If I bring in the official original release of this, you can see the interesting thing is this doesn't have the strange, well, I say strange, but this doesn't have the horizontal striping, because this was the original version that was released in the simple plastic bag by the BBC on the BBC Shop website. And yeah, it didn't have these strange markings, which seems odd, and it kind of would ring alarm bells, thinking, oh well, there you go, things that weren't featured on the original knockoff. But if we take this one out and bring in, and I still have it boxed because I don't want to unbox it, the diamond release version, which was the American release version, boxed version of this figure, you can quite clearly see these horizontal lines going across the bottom. Now what strikes me about that as odd is that this one, the original release, was the original release. So if this was a prototype, I have to question, why did they have the horizontal lines on the prototype, decide, oh, actually, no, we can't do that, or, for whatever reason, we can't do that on the actual figure, and then decide, oh, actually, no, wait, we can do it, and we'll do it on that release. Something about that just seems very odd, that they would decide against something and then suddenly decide, actually, we will do it. So what I think's happened, and this, again, I have no real evidence to back this up, but I'm going by what I have managed to find, and people have told me, is these two have used the same mold and techniques as this one, and it has resulted in these two being knockoffs. Because it's worth saying as well, these were from China, and as many people will be aware, the toy situation in China does often lead to many knockoff toys because there are very few restrictions on copyright and parts and things like that, and it means that people can very easily make these kinds of knockoff toys. So yeah, it really does make for an interesting point. I mean, as I said, I can't prove that these aren't prototypes. They well could be, and if anybody has any physical proof, information, something that, you know, can actually be read somewhere, or isn't something that somebody says, oh yeah, somebody told me, no, these definitely are prototypes. If somebody's actually got some proper evidence to suggest that these are prototypes, please email it to me, or send me a message via my Facebook page. I would love to have some more information on these, because it's very hard to find anything. But yeah, so I am 60% sure that these are not official products. I think they are knockoff toys. So if you do come across any online, again, I wouldn't pay too much for them, because I really don't think that they are real. And the other thing as well is that I seem to remember when I did buy them, the person that bought them from me, I think these two were the last ones the buyer had at the time I bought them, but the person that told me about them said that they originally had like 10 of them, and apparently, again, unfortunately I don't have any links or names or anything like that I can give out, I'm sorry, but after I bought these, the last two, I was then told by somebody else that the seller had then put up another 30, which leads me to believe that the seller themselves in China could be producing these. I mean, if that's the case, then as much as I shouldn't praise a knockoff toy, it's very well detailed. Obviously, it's got, you know, he's got all the articulation. The head is very stiff, and I really can't twist that, and I don't want to risk breaking it. But you know, it's got all of the articulation you would find on an actual figure, so it certainly seems to have been made from the official sculpt. And it's interesting as well, because I know some people have asked me, knowing that I have both of these whilst I'm doing this video, you know, people have said, oh, well, what's the difference between these two? Well, obviously, as I said, the horizontal striping is one, but the other thing is that these figures have, but this one doesn't, is the detail on the face is much darker and it's much more defined, whereas this one, not so much. It's much more lighter and sort of almost more silvery. So yeah, it really makes for, these pieces really make for an interesting piece to my collection, not just because they may or may not be prototypes or knockoffs, but because if they are, whichever they are, it's really something that is very different, that is something that I don't think I've ever really seen before outside of an official figure. And also just the figures alone, the variations between the two of them, it's certainly very interesting, and I'm very, very happy to have these in my collection. And I have been waiting I have to say, I've been waiting 6 months to do this video, to show them off to you, because when I saw them online, you know, I bought them, and I genuinely expected it, I have to say, as much as I shouldn't have. I bought them, it's still expecting it to be a bit of a scam. But then when they turned up at my parents' house after I left, I was very surprised, and you know, I saw pictures of them. My mum kindly took pictures of them and showed them to me on FaceTime, and they really did look interesting, but it's only now, having them in hand and looking at them, that you realise that they really are something else. They're very, very strange pieces. But yeah, I'm really glad I've got these in my collection. I just want to say as well, because it wouldn't be the first time that I've had this kind of question. Yes, I have 2 of them and all of these, but none of these figures are for sale or for trade. These are all part of my personal collection, and I am keeping them. I apologise, but no, not for sale. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, favourite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot. Please check below for a link to my new Patreon. It would help me out a lot if you supported that as well. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.